Okay, so it's after a pretty successful Liverpool game in which Mo Salah has put in another fantastic performance. He's put in 3 amazing, almost captain-like performances. He's been a silent leader in this side for years. He's been an incredible goal scorer, a monolith of the modern era for Liverpool, a player who defined that position, one of the Klopp men, one of the players in our all-time Premier League team, probably in one of Liverpool's all-time 11s, depending on what the formation is that you play. And he's a Premier League god in the most respectful manner. And, obviously, I think previously there was a lot of speculation about his contract and the frustration or the ideas around that. I think a lot of people are frustrated at thinking Virgil van Dijk, Trent, Salah are all in the last year of their contract. Possibly, deliberately on Liverpool's part because, possibly they want to get rid of some big contracts on that side. But when Salah then says such honest words in his post-match interview with Sky, and he's, by the way, said this just a couple of days before as well. It's clear he wants that out there in the public. Not that I think I'm being cynical about it. I'm just saying, when a player says something, they know what they're saying. And within that, I think we can read quite a lot. First of all, the honesty of Mo Salah is refreshing as a Liverpool fan. I don't think he's battering the club. I don't think he's trying to publicly bait anyone out. I don't think he's just being honest. And it's really nice to see a player who feels comfortable enough in his own skin to be able to say those things. The flip is also obviously true. Liverpool haven't offered Mo Salah a new contract. Apparently there aren't any talks in play. And I know that we've just finished the transfer window. Maybe in the next couple of weeks we'll see something. That would just be speculation on my part. I don't necessarily know that. But when one of your guys is performing so well and doesn't really show many signs of tailing off, though you never know, I suppose, with any player over 30, you can never really be too sure about where their career is going to go. But Mo Salah, you can be pretty sure that there is going to be a consistency there. You have to understand the benefits and the pros and cons of keeping Mo Salah to a team like Liverpool. First of all, a very big contract on the books. Letting him walk away, I think, for free, if he's going to go somewhere else, seems pretty mad to me, but fair enough. But he is somewhat of a unicorn when it comes to just the numbers. But part of me wonders whether, obviously he played exclusively under Klopp and now he's playing on the slot, obviously being great in both of those positions. He's fantastic. He can play multiple different positions. There are going to be people in the Liverpool backroom staff wondering, and I guess openly, about whether those numbers can be replaced or made up in the aggregate and all those kind of things. And whether it's smart for Liverpool to move on from Mo Salah in the short to medium term, because Slot will want to play a different style of football and he is a fantastic coach. But imagine a player that Slot picks in that position. Imagine if Liverpool don't get money for Salah, but have got a big contract position sitting open. And think of them in terms of how many big contracts can Liverpool afford to offer? How many big contracts can Liverpool afford to keep on the books at any one time? PSR, all those kind of things. I'm not saying this is the reason, right? But I'm saying I'm trying to explore and explain. And at the same time, I get it. I love Mo Salah. He's been one of the players of my life. He's been one of the best players that I've ever witnessed play, and he's done some prolific things in front of me. I mean, I was right there when he did the celebration. I was right there when he scored amazing goals in the Champions League, when he scored amazing goals in the Premier League. I've seen him do some of the greatest things I've seen in a red shirt. But I've also seen incredible systems around him, incredible managers. And I'd love to see him obviously retire at the club. But for your sentimentality around a player, for what you want to think your club represents, is it that you are willing to sacrifice another big player on a high wage and just say, well, it's just FSG who aren't willing to spend money? In a dumb, misguided, annoying way. To go, well, we should keep Salah. The same people who say we should keep Salah are the same ones who are complaining about no new signings. The same ones who are saying we should keep Salah are the same ones who are saying, why is it that we haven't been able to sign X, Y, Z? That is frustrating to me. And the main reason for that would be, well, frankly, there's only so much money that's available because of these financial rules. I'd imagine that similar to when you watch Brighton, who banked a lot of money last summer and then went crazy this summer, there are similar tactics going on. There are also people looking for good value in the market. And arguably, Edwards, Hughes, Slot, Klopp, all these guys have always been people who are good at finding value in the market, Darwin Núñez aside. So I guess what I'm saying here is his answer is very honest. I loved Slot's approach to it. He's very much about living in the moment right now, and that's very much a last dance, Phil Jackson, Michael Jordan type vibe there of, this is the last year that you might get to see this guy. Let's not spend a whole year talking about ifs, buts, and maybes. Maybe he will get offered a new contract. Maybe all of this speculation is crazy. But what he's saying he can really talk about are the performances, the incredible performances that Mo Salah is currently putting in, and the satisfaction that that gives him as a manager. The prolific elements of his passing, his running, all the different elements of his game. But also the fact that, and I guess when he's not going to be drawn on this and go, well, yeah, it's Mo Salah's last year, that'd be crazy. But I guess it's interesting to see a manager who so far seems very calm in the way that he addresses speculation and things that people want to write a story around at the club. And not just go, yeah, it's very frustrating, whatever. Now, Klopp wouldn't have done that either. But it also is indicative of the way that Liverpool are run right now, that if that was at Manchester United, if that was at Chelsea, if that was another one of these big clubs, people would be going crazy over that. Mainly because they go, that's a bad way of running the club. During all the speculation, what if Slot drops off? What if this Liverpool team aren't as good? And I think Liverpool are very much riding the new relationship wave right now, and that will be a big narrative in the coming weeks. Watch it said on TalkSport. Liverpool, I guarantee you this, Liverpool are in a honeymoon period right now. Someone on TalkSport, mark my words, will say that. Because it's a great way of basically going, they'll fall off in the end. Because being a doom merchant, being a warmonger, all those kind of things is way easier. Because these things are inevitable that your team will go through hardships. And the people who go, told you so, despite knowing nothing about the club over the last few months and weeks and years, were the same people who are going, Arne Slot will drop off a cliff. When Klopp goes, it'll all fall apart. Michael Edwards isn't really that good. Richard Hughes is just a Bournemouth merchant. Zubimendi not wanting to come. True not wanting to come. Bellingham turning you guys down. It's public. They're idiots. None of that is true. What we know right now is that Liverpool have a number of contracts sitting on the table for Trent, Van Dijk, Salah. And what we know about Michael Edwards, what we know about Richard Hughes, what we know about the guys working at the top of this, they are the best financial planners and advisors that this industry has. Michael Edwards was offered billions in terms of a war chest and funds to play with at Chelsea and turned it down. Richard Hughes, equally brilliant, much sought after within the game. Salah has been prolific for us, but we have to weigh up the pros and cons of keeping older players within the squad. And the sentimentality of that, I think, is very important. We've had time to sentimentalise over Salah. We've had time to sentimentalise over these guys. I think 2 out of the 3 will possibly offer new contracts. And if they're not, then there'll be a very good reason as to why. And it will be something to do with the balance books. It will be something to do with the financial rules. It will be something to do with keeping the club level rather than overweighting it, not being able to make a new signing elsewhere, all these kind of things. Because the new rules that are coming up, Chelsea's issues in Europe, having sold a player, having not been able to bring in money from over here because then they can't play in the Champions League because if you sell a hotel, that somehow doesn't balance your books in Europe, but it does balance them in the Premier League. All these new rules that are coming in, we're constantly seeing the clubs just about keeping up with them. I think at this point, it's about remaining ahead of them, not just going, we've got to sell a load of players all of a sudden, and disrupting a whole team, a squad, maybe upsetting a few players, going, you have to leave because we can't afford to keep you around anymore. All those kind of things. And at the same time, I think Liverpool are painfully aware that they have certain quotas to fill within the squad. Could they bring in a young English player in that position or a player who counts as homegrown? Will there be someone like Jarell Quansah or whoever it is who's coming through in the long run who will become the new Virgil van Dijk? Will it be that Mark Guay comes in January? Would it be that there is another strategy here? Because this will not be just we forgot to send that email. Like, that's not the way that works in a football club, especially as well run as Liverpool is. So I'd love to know what your guys' theories are in the comments below. Let me know. And personally, at the moment, I think I love the insight, but it doesn't panic me. Maybe I'm just one of those people who's all about, the guarantee there'll be people going, head in the sand, all those kind of things. Because at the same time, as when I watched the Champions League draw earlier this week, I thought, do we have enough players to get through that? Do we have enough depth and fitness, all those kind of things? I think we do. But I also think there is a strategy and a plan, because if you're aware of it, you know that someone at Liverpool will be aware of it. Michael Edwards, Hughes, everyone else in the club. It's not like they're just sitting there going, did we forget that Salah contract again? Bloody hell, you didn't send it, Margaret. It's not the way it works. And yet somehow you think that your local Domino's is run in the same way as Liverpool Football Club is. No disrespect to Domino's. But you get what I'm saying. There is something else at play here, and I'm trying to work out what it is. Let me know your theories in the comments below as to what the push and pull is, who's pushing and who's pulling where, and who you and that you don't need a good guy and a bad guy in this. There is no good guy and like, you know, Liverpool, their best interest is winning on the field, and our best interest is being entertained by that. Don't forget that. Because sometimes I think it's much easier to just sit there and go, oh, where's the money? Or like whatever your bloody, you know, tagline is. But what does that really mean? It's fun to say, and it's satisfying to watch because you get off for a little while. But ultimately, you're just sort of wasting your time by just saying, oh, Salah should have a new contract, Van Dijk should have this. Yes, Van Dijk should have a new contract. Yes, Trent should. Yes, Salah should. All of them don't for different reasons. And I think I agree. There is an element of, oh, they should be better than this. But there is a very conscious decision being made at the club now to talk or not speak to with those players. And I can only assume, in the same way as Klopp said, until someone lets me down, that there is something underway. Let me know in the comments below and I'll chat to you guys in a while. Much love. Bye.